First and foremost, the Kundalini energy has a very huge impact on our physical body. And so when we've had a Kundalini awakening, it is very important that we understand that our body needs more attention, because our nervous system is being affected by the increase in electrical energy, which is what the Kundalini is. It's powerful electric, pranic, magnetic energy. Our nervous system needs to be equipped to handle more wattage, or it burns us out. It causes fatigue. The erratic spurts of energy, the highs and the lows we may experience, also can cause our nervous system to get overwhelmed. So we need to be very grounded in our lives. We need to really look at the condition of our body and how we're taking care of our body. Because when problems arise, it is because our body is simply not prepared. And while the Kundalini energy will strengthen your body, make your body more youthful, bring more power and light and presence into your body, this all takes time, because while it's doing that adjustment, we're trying to catch up, and it can be overwhelming to our bodies. This is why I was saying things like how your desire for food may change. You may lose your appetite, or you may become very hungry. You may have been a vegan your whole life, and now all of a sudden, all you're thinking about is meat. And I personally feel that the best path for everyone is the path of their own inner knowing. I think that when we intuitively align with the real needs, not the addictions of our body, and we're coming from a place of wisdom and discernment, then we should be open to any strange desire that comes up, because we may be needing certain different nutritional things than we needed before. Or we may stop eating because we need to purify our body. It's like your body knows what it needs, and the Kundalini energy is affecting your mind, affecting your choices, trying to show you, here, let's do this, let's do that, by the feelings or the signs that you get from the world around you. Because the thing with the Kundalini energy is you will get signs from the world around you. Magical things start to happen. Life starts to speed up. Synchronicities increase. This energy is real magical energy, and it takes our body like a storm. And we have times where we feel so elated and one with the divine. And then other times we're so down and depressed and overwhelmed and tired. It can take us on these highs and these lows. It can come on really strong, and then we feel like, did it go away? But it never goes away. It's always there. It's just what we're working through. And when the Kundalini energy is awakened and you become aware of it, that's generally caused by some sort of astrological transit you're having, because the seeds are ripe and you become aware that this Kundalini energy has revived itself within your being. And when that happens, there's no way we can control it. There's no technique we can do to force it to rise. And however we may try, ultimately, we can only surrender. There's no way to manipulate, find a loophole, play games with our own spiritual energy. There's no special pranayama. There's nothing we can do to force the evolution. What we can do is we can change our lives in ways that are structured and grounded, that will give us the conditions we need for a peaceful and healthy and rapid awakening, as rapid as is good for us to occur. So from my experience, number one is your body. Number one, your body is changing. Your body will keep changing. Your body will change so much, but you can't see it when it's happening, not really, until you look back and go, oh my God, I'm a totally different person now. Your body is changing. This magical energy of the Kundalini is rewiring your entire consciousness. And when that happens, it affects your body. And when your body is being purified, it literally is being also purified of the things we're holding on to beyond just like toxins from the environment or foods, but memories. And so what will happen is that you will maybe suddenly get memories from the past coming through your mind, like maybe even like rapidly, like several. All of a sudden you're doing something and you start remembering all these different things, and you're like, why am I thinking about that? Where did that come from? Because your body is releasing the old memories, clearing the way. It's decluttering you as a human being. And also feelings may come up. You're like, why do I feel so upset or so mad or so anxious right now? Because nothing is happening on the outside to make me feel this way. These feelings are trapped in our body. And so it's cleansing our body. It's cleansing our psychic energy. So the physical and the psychic go together. And we work on our body to purify our body with the foods we've been eating, with the toxins we've been ingesting. And at the same time, the more we do that, the more our psyche is able to be purified. But we can't move too fast, but we need to be consistent, structured, and stable with the understanding of what's happening. Because no, we're not going crazy. And there will be ups and downs. And you may hear voices from the other side. I used to wake up all night long. I thought I had to write down everything I heard. And I had notebooks filled with all sorts of things until I realized, okay, we have to use discernment. We can't just be open so wide to the whole universal astral world that we have to believe everything we hear, write down everything we hear. And if this doesn't happen to you, I'm not trying to scare you. It's just that there is a way to be connected to other realms. And the Kundalini energy will start to remove the veils that are blocking us from our connection to the more subtle realms beyond the one we're used to, which is this gross physical world. And so we're learning to move through that world. We're learning to engage this world more productively, more compassionately, more skillfully. And we're learning how to be in our body in a new way. And while there may be times when we really are like not even feeling we're in our body, we still need to be connected to our body. Because the Kundalini energy is so much bigger than our physical body, but our physical body is its puppet. We are a tool in the hands of the divine. And so when we realize that, and when we tune in with total sincerity and patience, and we just tune in and feel that energy flowing, it will guide us, because it is tuning us in to the real reality, not the one out here that everyone is telling us is real because we can see 1 + 1. No, the magical reality of life, that we are becoming a part of that magic. And while we still have to be in this physical world, we can really begin not to think, but to know that we come from something much greater than this body, this personality, this one lifetime. And this energy is showing us how great and magnificent we actually are. But in that process, it has to show us also what we aren't, which is all the baggage. Which is when it moves up through the different chakras and different parts of the body, those different parts of the body connected to our astral body are holding our particular karma, connected with the energies that particular chakra rules. So your first chakra, when it's awakened, you're going to experience a lot more issues than usual, or maybe a lot more awareness around feelings of insecurity. These are the good and the bad, the hard and the easy. So when the first chakra is thrown off balance, not being grounded, not feeling secure, it's about your stability. It's about your relationship with yourself, with your body, your relationship with food, your relationship with your ancestors. Because really this karma is not something we made up on our own. This karma has been handed down to us. And so this is the first chakra. And then it continues to move up the chakras. In the second chakra, we deal with, moods, mood swings, intense feelings of angst or creativity or lack of creativity, all about relating and how we relate. Then we move into the third chakra of this intense energy of transformation and the digestion of food, the assimilation of experiences, the willpower, the drive. But it's also associated with fear and anxiety and competitiveness and greed. And then we move to the heart. And then we keep going up. And the whole idea of what a saint, bodhisattva, a liberated being is that this energy of the divine comes down through our crown, and this energy of this earth moves up from the base of our spine, and it meets in our heart. And when we learn and we're able to fully live in our heart with presence, is when the Kundalini has been successful in our life. But as we learn to live in the presence of that love, we're also simultaneously working through all the things we don't need. And that means in our material world too. So decluttering our house, simplifying our life, really looking at all of our social relationships and which ones are the most important and meaningful and beneficial to us and which ones are dragging us down and taking us in the wrong direction. We have to look at all that and refine. This is really about refinement, because we are becoming more subtle and more etheric as our vibration increases. And so in that process, we have to learn to let go and surrender. And like I said in the last video, devotion. Devotion will help us to let go when we tune into something bigger than ourselves. Compassion for ourselves, acceptance of ourselves. Finding a way to ground ourselves in a spiritual life and do the practices that facilitate and bring that Kundalini energy into harmonious flow. Because when our lifestyle is the old lifestyle, then we are going to create friction and problems and turmoil in our lives. If we're not moving in the right way, things start to clash. So to move in a way where we're going to grow and let go and not create more negative grooves is going to take some decisions and some changes. And often, this energy does those changes for us. Sometimes it's totally out of our hands. And what we need to do is just surrender, realize that we do have choices to make, but we can't control everything either. But magically, the things we need, the people we need to meet, they all come into our lives magically. Especially when we pray with faith and devotion, and when our sincerity is true and real. God will move mountains for us in our life and will make what we need possible. We will have what we need when what we want is God. And so we make those changes with full confidence in the divine, that we are not living a material life, but we are living a spiritual life in a material world. And what matters most is that we embrace the call to evolve our consciousness for the betterment of the entire planet, not just our own life. But we came here for a reason, and that reason was not to accumulate more karma, more possessions, and then just die and not even know who we were really, but who they told us we were, what we thought our name was, what we thought we looked like, which wasn't who we were. And so when we close our eyes and tune in daily to the divine, which is who we are, and detach from the outside and shut off the senses, and let go of that world for just a few minutes a day. Just try 10 minutes of total sincerity a day, of total sincerity and attunement to your heart. 10 minutes. Anyone can do 10 minutes. And you just sit there and you go within and you let it all go. And eventually we do that. And what samadhi is that we our energy rises, like I said, like the snake, and our energy opens and we become one with the cosmic consciousness. And our little ego isn't such a problem for us anymore. But to really let go of those deep, deep fears we all have that allow us to merge with the cosmic consciousness, even though we think that's what we want, our fear of annihilation of that part of us, that while we're still causing ourselves pain, we still don't want to let go of that person, you know? Because we're all in this survival mode for a chakra, reptilian mentality, all sorts of programming and traumas we've experienced that is just like really hard to just let go and let God. That's really what this is about. This is really about everything we're going to go through in the end so we can just let go and let God, and how easy would that have been? But all these barriers we have and all this protection we have and all these layers we have that we think we need to exist and protect ourselves is what the Kundalini energy is taking away. Because we think we have this idea of how great we could be or what we can do, but we don't even know the vastness of our potential. And so remember, the most important thing in your life is your spiritual life. The most important relationships you have will be the spiritual relationships, the people who keep you focused on God, and not God out of the rule book of God, but God out of the God within your own heart, so that we can stop living in fear and isolation and separation, and we can really fearlessly, harmoniously be one with all that is, and realize that we never die. And the reason we fear death is because we are fearing the unknown. But if we go through this process now, it is like a psychic death, so that we become fearless, because all of our fears are driven by that fear of death, whether we know it or not. The Kundalini is showing us that we do not die. We cannot die. We are forever. And the thing we're holding on to that makes our life hard is that part of us that doesn't know that yet. And it's really hard on our body. Like our body is fighting back. Our body is holding on to all the trauma. Our body is having to, have all this energy coursing through us from this life current of the Kundalini energy. And it's a lot happening at once. And so when I say get yourself in the right situation where you can be understood and supported, it helps. Because I've been there and I know. It really helps. Your intention, your motivation. This isn't like a kick or like a hobby or like a little nifty thing that happens like for a few weeks of your life this is something that never goes away. It's there to stay. But it's up to you to make the most of it and rise up to the challenge rather than sink into the comfort of inertia, which isn't bringing anyone any happiness anyway, and then ignore the vast grace that's calling us. We can't ignore our own hearts. So please, just for 10 minutes, every day, tune in to the inside. Say a prayer, sing a song, just sit in silence. You are not your thoughts. You aren't even your feelings. You are the pure light of love. And while that's been said a lot, and it's easier said than done, it really is the truth. But we can say it, that doesn't make it so. We have to be it. And to be that takes some courage. And it takes some determination. And when you have the opportunity of having a Kundalini awakening, and you know that Goddess is within you, you're capable of way more than you can imagine. So I invite you to rise to the challenge of the greatest blessing of your existence.